While Apple fans celebrate the 2016 era vapor chamber in the latest iPhone 17 Pro, the new RedMagic 11 Pro throws every cooling system ever found in a smartphone into a blender and adds one we've never seen before. It's a heat-dumping, bubble-pumping Franken-phone, but the real question is, will any of the Sci-Fi tech survive a date with our spudger? A quick spin through our CT scanner gives us the lay of the land. The RedMagic 11 Pro looks like a heat management theme park. A fan-topped heatsink stacked over a sprawling vapor chamber with what we can only assume will be a dense forest of thermal paste channels, and, tucked somewhere neatly between them, the star attraction, a loop of fluid-filled tubing. Let's crack it open and see how much of this tech is fix-friendly, and how much is just vapor. I'll get inside this phone the same way I get into most phones, by blasting it with heat and prying one of the surfaces away. Thankfully, it's the back plastic that comes away and not that expensive AMOLED display. And there it is, we didn't have to wait long at all to see the first liquid-cooled mechanism in a smartphone. The wireless charging coil sits in the center, and the miniature pipes containing non-conductive fluorinated liquid snake around it. When handling demanding tasks, the liquid cooling system kicks in alongside the noisy fan that runs at 24,000 RPM. And by the way, these tiny bubbles are very satisfying to split with the end of my spudger. We'll need to disassemble this layer to see how it works, so let's crack on. It's great to see Phillips screws used throughout, not a single proprietary or security screw in sight. This is the connector that runs to the tiny pump driving the cooling system, which I need to carefully peel back. As I'm tugging away at the bracket, I realize a hidden screw. Warranty void stickers are illegal in the United States, so don't let tamper-proof stickers like this scare you off for repair. Under that bracket is the LED torch, which I can disconnect along with the press connector for the fan. That releases the liquid cooling system and wireless charging assembly, save for a bit of glue at the bottom where the pump is located. The fan, which is embedded inside a heatsink block, is connected to the liquid cooling system with a bit of adhesive. Only the tiniest section of the coolant-filled pipes comes into contact with the heatsink. How exactly does this liquid cooling system work? It all comes down to this tiny piezoelectric pump. It contains a membrane that rapidly expands and contracts, creating a pressure imbalance that pushes the liquid forward. I can simulate that expansion and contraction of the membrane by repeatedly squeezing the pump between my thumb and forefinger. Sure enough, the liquid starts to move. It's an elegant bit of engineering. Let's move on. I want to make the device safe for further disassembly, and that means disconnecting the two press connectors leading to the battery. We saw a similar battery in the Nothing Phone 3, you can find that teardown on our YouTube channel. Now these pull tabs are a nice decorative addition here because they're bloody useless. For some reason the tabs split into 4 parts, 5 in this example, reducing the surface area I have to grip, and my sweaty fingers aren't helping the situation at all. Yeah, skill issue, I know, here's some alcohol to solve that. Alternatively, take a look at the very cool electrically releasing adhesive in the latest iPhones, or Samsung's simple and effective adhesive wrapper. Either or, the solutions are available and it's time manufacturers got with the repair program. Once the battery is out, I find a series of interconnect cables underneath. That's not a great design, a whole lot of force was just applied to those cables and I'm surprised nothing ripped. Supporting 80 watts of fast charging and with a 27.77 watt-hour capacity, a third more than the S25 Ultra and the iPhone 17 Pro, this is without a doubt a silicon carbon battery. Next, I'm going to focus my attention on removing the lower assembly housing the USB-C port. Note that last press connector on the right, that goes directly to the display. The daughter board then slides out, making the USB-C port replacement a fairly easy and straightforward process. It's a similar story on the main board. There are a lot of press connectors up here and a few more coax connectors. The good news is that the 16 megapixel under-display selfie camera comes away pretty easily, as does the 2 megapixel macro camera, which to be honest feels a little out of place in an otherwise very advanced device. But old and low tech doesn't mean bad, as exemplified by the mighty headphone jack in all its battery-free lossless glory. Before going any further, I need to deal with another hidden screw. This one looks less intentionally hidden, instead it appears to be electrically isolated from the battery cable that runs over it. The mainboard comes out with the 50 megapixel main camera still attached, leaving behind the 50 megapixel ultra-wide. There's some mild adhesive underneath, nothing a little bit of isopropyl alcohol can't resolve. The RedMagic 11 Pro uses multiple heat management solutions, but what's really interesting is what's sitting in the middle of all this thermal paste. This tiny silver square is a liquid metal sandwich that sits against the system on chip. Scratching the surface exposes the liquid metal, which then liquefies to the familiar messy goo when I apply some heat to it. There's no doubt about it, the RedMagic 11 Pro scratches a serious nerd itch, and that liquid cooling system is both innovative and beautifully implemented. But none of that is going to come to mind when you break your screen, wear out your battery, or run into a whole host of other problems that will occur over time. So the question is, how repairable is it actually? There's a number of positives working in the RedMagic 11 Pro's favor. The entry process through the back panel is fairly easy, though reassembling the unit does require replacement adhesive as opposed to clips or screws. Speaking of screws, the use of Phillips throughout gets top marks for common sense and ease of repairability. And the USB-C port, some of the cameras, and the headphone jack are all modular components that are easily accessible without an awful lot of fuss. But unfortunately, that's where the good ends and the shortfalls come into focus. RedMagic has no history of releasing parts or manuals to support their devices, and there's no reason for us to believe that the RedMagic 11 Pro will be any different. And as far as battery replacements go, I can only describe the pull tabs they've used as gratuitous in nature. It's theoretically better than nothing, but if I have to resort to alcohol to dissolve the glue, then in practice, it might as well not be there. It's with these factors in mind that the RedMagic 11 Pro earns a 3 out of 10 on iFixit's smartphone repairability scale. It might have a top-notch cooling system, but until we see parts and manuals, it's going to get an even colder reception from our repairability engineers.